Okay, guys, Paul McLean here. I wanted to go through with you real quick how to utilize the CRM, how to go through it, how to find cherry pick leads. If you've gone through any steps so far, you've realized that, hey, lead flow is cash flow. If you want to get your cash flow right, you got to get your lead flow right. And so I want to go through a couple things real quick on how to utilize the CRM and then a couple quick tips as we wrap up. So to get to the CRM, you want to go to familyfirstlife.com. Once you go there, you want to go to login. If you're having issues logging in, reach out to whoever's hired you, and they should be able to make sure to add you to the CRM, and that'll give you the ability to log in. So reach out to the person that hired you if you're not able to log in. But once you get here, you want to log in. You log in, that'll take you to this page here. You want to then go to CRM, so you click there. This will go ahead and pull up the CRM, so you can take a look at it here. Go to leads, go to purchase leads. So you go to purchase leads. Now, MailPro cherry pick leads, these are the leads that the company just dumped in. MailPro just dumped in a ton of leads. In fact, that's one of the things that Family First Life has always done a phenomenal job is for one, I think it's because the company was built by top producers. Like Sean Mike issue paid 800 grand on his own pen. I mean, like, he was a top producer with prior IMOs. I knew that my biggest override was myself, so I wasn't confused. And I went out and wrote 400 grand on my own pen for many years. Andrew Taylor did, Mark Mead did, Mike Kilman. So it was founded with top producers. And so we understood that, hey, if we want to make sure that the agents serve the best, we need to couple with some great lead vendors and partner with them. Well, MailPro is one of them. And so they just put in, and I'm going to go through it, a bunch of leads that are like dirt cheap, $3, $4, $5, leads that typically cost 15, 20 bucks if you work with another IMO, because what they'll do is they'll bring them on board, buy them from, like, say, MailPro. They'll act like they have them and they created them, and then they'll mark them up, sell them 2, 3, 4 times. And so it's like a revenue stream for them. Where FFL, Sean Mike said, listen, man, the only way anybody makes money with the company, it's always going to be this way, is if they make sales. So no training costs, no contracting, no contract. There's no lead cost that's marked up through FFL. It's all through the actual vendors. And so if anything, it's lower cost because of the quantity that we order. We can negotiate different deals. So as you say, hey, I'm with FFL, I'm not just an independent agent, you could get better deals for these vendors. So MailPro, let's take a look at them. You click there, hit that green arrow. It's going to pull up this heat map for you. And now a good blend for new agents, get Facebook file expense leads. They're phenomenal. And I think we've got those listed on FFLWestCoast.com. In fact, let me just see to make sure that we do. You come here to Roadmap to Success. We should have a list of Facebook file expense Facebook lead vendors that you could use. Let's go down here. Yeah. So if you take a look here, vendor resources, lead gurus, Security Mentor, there's Spanish ones, Game Time Leads, Leadrilla. So there's multiple different vendors that produce file expense Facebook leads. You say, which one should I use? Just use any of them. Any lead is a good lead. If they're up here, it's a platinum vendor that we've seen and seen a track record where they're producing good, fast, quality leads for us as the agents. So anyways, going back here, so you should definitely pick up those, but having a good blend, I think, is important. And now I got to just figure out what I did with, that shows you how smart I am, huh? All right, let's see if I can find, maybe it's right here. Okay, here we go. All right, so you come back here to the heat map. So let's just say you're in California. You want to click here. Come over here, and let's just say we're looking at, like right here, you got a red spot. So that's San Joaquin, Stanislaus. Let's take a look at Riverside, and then you get San Bernardino. So let's take a look at San Bernardino. So if it's red, that just is, it's telling you, hey, this is a hot area. There's a ton of leads in this area. Green, it's hot, not as hot as red, obviously, and yellow. Not as plentiful with leads as a green. So if you take a look here, they've got MailPro, T65. Those are more like Medicare leads. So for new agents, I don't really look at those. MailPro mortgage protection, 1 month old, and then you take a look. So that's kind of the breakdown that they've got there. Let's take a look at this area here, San Joaquin. MailPro final expense, 3-month mortgage final expense leads. There's 909 of those. So you say, what kind of lead is that? Well, if you click, it'll pull it up. That's a $3 lead. It's 90 days or older, and it's been sold only once to an FFL agent, never been sold to anybody else, and you can get it for $3. So these are, again, leads that, most IMOs and different vendors will charge 15, 20 bucks a piece as a second chance lead. So a lot of good lead flow there. Let's come over here. Look at the East Coast. Let's go over here to like Connecticut. Let's see what Connecticut pulls up. So come over here. What happened here? Okay, let's do Massachusetts. So let's look at, it looks like it's all green, so we can almost click anywhere. So you've got 16 silver leads. You can say, what's a mortgage protection silver lead? It's a $1 lead, so it tells you what the cost is there. And it's a mortgage protection lead. So you kind of just take a look here, and depending on where you're at, you can see what lead flow is there. Mail Pro Facebook lead, that's 6 months old. So that's a final expense Facebook lead. It's 6 months or older. There's 158 of them. They're $1.50. So I mean, just think about it. If you picked up 100 of those, that's 150 bucks. What are the odds that you don't help one family out of 100? The odds is 0%. There's no way you don't. You're going to have a client that just lost a sister. God forbid, just had somebody in their family that got diagnosed with cancer, and now it's that trigger. And I think right now with a lot of the stuff that's taking place with the economy in the country, that's a trigger. Like, oh my God, that's COVID-19, that stuff. And it got people worried and fearful, and life insurance, it peaked because of that trigger. And so there's no way there's not a trigger or multiple triggers for a lot of these leads where the client already expressed interest, and now something's taken place where it's brought that interest to the forefront of their mind. And now they're like, I got to move to action. Then you give them a call and you're able to help them. So tons of profitability through these cherry pick leads. So you can kind of take a look and see what all those look like. There's a lot of lead flow across the country. So that's how you use the heat map. If you wanted to pick up, let's just say of these 158, you wanted to get 100 of them. You click that, you hit enter, and it should pull it up right here into your cart. Or I'm sorry, you put 100 there, and you go to add to cart. So let's move this down. Add to cart. And it's going to add 100 of those. So right now you see right here, it says adding to cart. So it might take a minute or so, but it's going to put them all on your cart. So again, to order them, you put the quantity there, add to cart. It'll pop up here, can place order, and it'll move it to you placing that order. So the thing is this, with leads, you want to make sure that you think about this. This is the employer side of it. I always say in this business, you're an employer and an employee. That's self-employed. You're both. As an employer, you want to strategize lead flow, make sure your plan is correct. Do this stuff like if you're dialing Monday, do it on Sunday night. If you're dialing Thursday, do this on Wednesday night. So come that dial day, which is the most important day, your money is made on dial days, you're ready to roll, right? As an employer, you've set your employee up, i.e. you, to execute well on the one thing that matters most, which is dialing and booking appointments to set your week up for massive success as you move forward. So I hope that makes sense going through all that. The last thing I wanted to kind of cover with you guys real quick. Let's go over here to the roadmap to success. So FFLWestCoast.com, we just organized a lot of the videos. So if you go to training videos, there's a lot of videos in training all throughout the week, right? And so you never want to miss any. In fact, if there was a gun to my head and you said, what's the one thing that allowed you to go out there and become a 7-figure income earner with the company and be a top producer? I'd say unequivocally, for one, a lot of work, which that should be a given, but I never missed any of the calls. Like I plugged in, I wasn't confused, that my thought process was at a level that was yielding the income that I had. And if I wanted a bigger income, if I wanted to have a bigger business, if I wanted to sell more, I had to expand my thought process. I had to see things different, right? That whole, how you view what you do is how you do what you do. So I had to change the viewing to change my doing and how I did it. And so I would plug into all the calls, never miss them. But there'd be certain calls where I'm like, man, that was really good. Like, I needed to hear that. I'm struggling in that area. How that was communicated. I need to really get that down. And so anytime I found a call that really did that for me, I would make it a point while I was driving from one house to the next to listen to 10, 15 times to really just integrate it, and the more times I listened to it through repetition, what happens is you can change your thought process. You can change the way you approach stuff, right? I think I heard it before, and I think maybe Sean said it, that there's two different ways to change your belief system, the way you see things. Either a big sudden impact, like a devastation, or something just you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, which I don't want to choose that route, or just repetition of message. And so that's kind of what we have here. We've broken it down so you can find the content, in-home training. So there's all different kinds of sales tips, how to add a policy to an existing policy, destroying the fully underwritten quote. If somebody says, hey man, I got all these quotes fully underwritten, selling insurance to younger clients. I've had agents say, and I struggled with it too, where they were 25 years old. How do you help a client that's like, I don't know if I'm really going to die. I don't see mortality. I'm going to hold off on it. What does that look like? How do you, the BS to sell, how to build it up and how to suppress what you don't want that leads to, closing it. How to save a client who wants to cancel. So you sold a policy, you're all excited. Yeah, I got one. And then they call you back the next week and they say, I changed my mind. How do you get back in front of them? And I promise you stuff works where you could close or save 80% of them. What does that look like? The close, right? I see a lot of times at the end, a lack of assumption and the wrong word choices when you're finalizing or closing the deal will mess you up. So what specifically should you say at the end of the in-home? So you could watch that and it'll give you some information. In-home objections, right? I want to, my budget, I got the budget objection, right? They said, I can't afford it. To think about an objection, what does that look like? Can we cancel anytime? We already have it covered. So all these objections, I need to talk to my kids. This looks great, but I don't do nothing until I talk to my kids. How do you handle that? So you can go through that. Top producer tips, right? Tips on leads, persistency tips, how to protect your dial time, increase profitability by doing annual reviews, scheduling for success, what schedule should you, so all this stuff is kind of there so you guys can go through product training as well, which is at the bottom for a reason. There's not much to products. Again, most of all our sales are through two products, Eagle Premier and HMS products. So it's very simple. The last thing is this, FFL Go. You guys can come here, and there's also the app on the that you can get on your mobile device. That's the Next Level Plus app, and it's got a lot of the similar stuff. So whatever one suits you better, use it. There's two different options. This one is not on a mobile device, so it's you can pull it up on the internet, but it's got everything here. So if you want to go to scripts, for instance, you take a look. It's got every phone script that you could think of. How to text, right? Client's not picking up. What do I text? Can I text them? Yeah, you can text them. In fact, this is what you text them. You text them that right there, and you'll get responses. Does it work all the time? No, but if you do all the things that are instructed to do all the time, it'll all work out. Everything works a little bit, nothing works all the time. So it's just doing all the things all the time. So every script you've got, if you're calling Facebook leads, there's a Facebook script, right? Mortgage protection script. So everything is here for you guys to pull off. Lead vendors, if you're wanting to hire, I had an agent that's brand new. He's like, man, and he already went out there and he's already written, I think there were 7 cases his first, what did he say? I think 5 days or something like that. But he's like, I want to hire. So he's already talked to his warm market. He's got agents that are people coming on board, getting the class that are warm market. But he's like, man, I also want to hire. I want to run some ads and stuff. So all the hiring templates are here. What ads that work the best are all here. It's all listed exactly what that looks like. All the steps to get people going and to really educate you so you can start hiring right away. You don't have to be here for 2 months, 2 years, 22 years. This stuff is here for you to plug and play. And that's why we have a lot of teams, after 12 months, they're running organizations that are larger than most IMOs out there, and they're making $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 plus income. The system works if you work really, really hard. Scripts also, there's a hiring script. So that goes with the template. So if you come here, it should be in here. Age, mortgage, filing expense, handling objections, interviews. Okay, maybe it's over on the other spot. All right, here, license, agents, hiring script. So what to say when you call them. So everything's, here you guys could also find additional videos and stuff, email news. You want to make sure if you've not already done it, which you might have, because it is on the Roadmap to Success on the FFL West Coast page. If you go to Roadmap to Success, that first step gets you plugged in. So you may already be getting the drip campaign. So you want to join the FFL West Coast email drip. Also, you want to sign up for the corporate blast, which is right here, or you could get it by going to email news and signing up there. So just a couple tips, guys. You know, this stuff is super simple. Remember, it's leads, it's phones, it's in-home. If you can focus on that, I'm just telling you, this thing will work for you. It's super simple, but you got to have massive activity, the right attitude, plug in, and it'll work. So make it a big week, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.